I'm back with David Azizi from the law offices of David Azizi, and today we're going to discuss something that is very interesting to me, having been a former athlete, and that is players and coaches putting themselves in harm's way and the inherent risks of playing sports versus just taking it too far. And in the past year, there have been a lot of injuries with college athletes, in some sports much higher than others. And a question I've asked David is, if a team has 15 players and 6 or 7 of them get hurt with the same injury, can a lawsuit be filed against the coach because they're doing something wrong? I mean, 7 out of 15 or 20 seems to be high. So, David, when it comes to that case, and it just, 1 or 2 is understandable, but when you're getting up to 7, 8, 9 players that have been hurt with an ACL injury or a broken ankle, how does that work in terms of your perspective as a personal injury lawyer?
Well, here in California, the law is that courts are very careful about stepping into the shoes of coaches and prohibiting them from pushing any players to their maximum abilities. And the arguments have been in the past that the reason sometimes these players become better and better over time is because coaches push them to do more and do better and train harder, and so therefore we get better results, better players. But within that realm, the courts have also said, hey, coach, we'll let you do as much as you like in terms of pushing the players and getting better players for yourself. But if it gets to a point that you're now increasing the harm that's inherent in the risk of playing a certain sport, then you as a coach and the entity that runs that sport potentially could be responsible for the injury caused, because as we all know, every sport there's some risk of injury inherent in that sport. There was a case here in California a while back where a pitcher intentionally hit another student in the head with a ball, and on the trial level it got lost. It went to appellate level and finally went to the Supreme Court, and then the court said, look, it's inherent in the risk of playing baseball that a pitcher might intentionally throw the ball at you to harm you. That's an inherent risk in it. But if a coach does something that's beyond the risk inherent in that sport, and it's more of a case by case, you got to give us a call, we got to evaluate the case, and then we'll be able to tell you as to whether the coach is doing something that's increasing the risk that's involved or inherent in that sport. Then we can pursue a claim on your behalf. From what you're describing, my gut feeling says that's way too many ACL tears for all these players to have. So it may be that the coaches having these players engage in certain type of activity which is higher and above the risk that's inherent in this sport, and that's what's causing their injury. But again, if I get to hear the facts, consult with another coach, and find out from that coach if he would have his students or players engage in that activity, then we'd be able to answer that question and go forward from it.
Absolutely. So to contact the law offices of David Azizi, the phone number will be above in the YouTube video as well as below in the information. And there's an article in the below information as well to explain some of the problems that do arise with sports that aren't necessarily the fault of a coach. It's just the way a sport is. So thank you very much for your time, David.
All right. Thank you.